Today's video is going to piss a lot of people off, and I don't really give a shit. But as a Santa Muerte devotee, there are 4 books that I would never recommend, and I think everybody should be aware of them since they're back and trending, and people are trying to promote the fact that they're great references and resources. They are not, for their respective reasons. So, starting off strong is this atrocity, American Brujeria by J. Allen Cross. When I mean that this was the most unwelcoming book for a Puerto Rican Santa Muerte devotee who's also a practicing Catholic. When this came out 4 years ago, I was so excited. And then when I read it, I remember putting it down and saying, what the fuck did I spend 20 bucks on? Let's putting ego aside. This was one of those books where I felt the need to rip out the entire section about La Santísima Muerte. It wasn't even a good resource for, again, a practicing Catholic. Avoid this. Just avoid this, because this is also, this entire book came off incredibly biased. I don't need to talk about this one only because it's written by a white woman. Again, whether or not she's been a devotee for long, it just, again, comes off with that very colonized, icky feel where she was doing deniable plausibility for whatever information that's very basic across the board. Not necessarily sure if she ever had a elder, but this was definitely a clout chaser type of book. Burn this. Do what I did and burn this, because this bitch isn't even a fucking devotee. And then you want to bash La Negra Embarazada about how she could help take away someone's ability to get pregnant, or she's not necessarily the greatest choice for pregnancy, when I'm living proof that she was probably the best choice, especially to uncover the ideals of infertility and the things that go into it and the patience and the knowledge that went into it. I don't even want to go there. This book was decent for prayers, but anything outside of chapter 7, it really created a damage that cannot be reversed in the Santa Muerte community. And the fact that this fucking person stood 10 toes down trying to say that she put her all into this. No, you went around Mexico and you were basically trying to claim everybody's practices, mixing and matching, creating a plausible deniability to the dangers that may occur, especially when it comes to blood packing and leaving Santísima Muerte. No, fuck off, burn this book. Do not spend your $20. This talks about punishing La Santísima Muerte by taking her hand and her scythe. If you have a fixed statue, it talks about literally punishing her by removing those things or turning her around, things like that. That saint punishing is probably something that's done in Italian, specifically Italian folk magic, but that is not something you do at La Santísima Muerte. This was, again, a white person pretending to, be a Latino trying to write about La Santísima Muerte, and none of these references are ever good. This was another one talking about blood pacting too, and again, it's so dangerous, especially when Santísima Muerte does not require your blood. With that being said, please do not spend your hard-earned cash on these fucking atrocities, okay? Do not give these people your money, and please question any devotee that uses them as a regular reference on a daily basis, because I have 2 playlists, one for Kindle and one for regular actual books that I use on a regular reference that are actually good resources, and a lot of them, again, are in Spanish or are specific to Latin Mexican devotees specifically. So do what you will with this information, and anyone who's going to come at me for this, I hope you know that I actually am an avid reader. Please fuck off.